I'm so excited to be reviewing this video because I'm hoping that what he's going to talk about in this video is the difference between being interested in something, like coming up with all the ideas that we come up with. Wouldn't it be nice to have $1 million? I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And really realizing that there's a huge difference between, the genie in the bottle, this is what I want, but I don't want to put any effort and energy into it, and being committed to your goals. That's what I'm hoping that this is about. So I'm so excited for you and I to get started on this. And as you see, I stopped right at 30 seconds, but I'm going to back it up so we can go straight to the beginning.
So many years ago, when I was 19 years old, I had a meeting with a man that I'd never met before, that was introduced to me by my brother. And this man was very successful financially, with his family, as a philanthropist, as a businessman. And he asked me one question that defined the trajectory of my life. And the question he asked me was I interested in achieving my life's goals and dreams, or was I committed to achieving them? And he said, if I was interested, I would do what's convenient, but if I was committed, I would do whatever it takes. And Mr. Alan Brown said to me, he says, John, he says, if you're interested, you'll do what's convenient.
I just got to start off with love that this is being said, because there is this misconception, as I've talked about before, in all of my classes, about the law of attraction and manifestation and achieving and reaching goals. Again, we treat everything like it's a genie in a bottle. And there is such a huge difference between getting something and achieving something. And we don't realize, first of all, that in order for the universe attraction manifestation to actually happen, you have to be living and breathing it. You have to know, you have to decide, you have to make the concrete decision that this is what I am doing. This, I am committed. I am taking steps every day. This is my goal. There is no other option. There is no other option. Otherwise, number one, you're not attracting. And number two, you can do instant gratification attractions. You can do the lottery win, you can do all of that. But there's, a reason why 90% of lottery winners actually end up being broke, bankrupt, and in worse shape than they were when they ever won the lottery. Because, and this is one of the things that I struggle so much with society right now, because society is all about not having to achieve the position that you're in, not having to earn the role, not having to achieve and acknowledge what it is that you're doing and you're changing. And you don't have to do anything. You just have to tell everybody that that's what you expect, how you expect them to treat you. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to alter anything. You can just continue to be exactly as you are, but you better refer to me differently. You better see me differently. That's not how this works. We are not participation beings, okay? We are achievement beings. We are accomplished human beings. We are accomplishment and achieve. So I am so excited that we're doing this video today, you guys.
You'll believe your stories and excuses, and you'll continue to be a victim of your current reality and circumstances. You'll come up with all the reasons why you can't achieve those goals.
Wow. So in my coaching all the time, we're shifting and changing perspectives and perceptions, because we all live in our excuses, our reasons why not, our reasons why we can't, our reasons why we shouldn't, the victimness of, well, I can't have that because this is where I come from. This is what I've been through. We hold on to our traumas, the situations, the things that have happened into our lives. We hold on to them. We own them. We take them and we make them our story, and we make them the reason why we can't have what we actually want, right? We turn them into our truth. When I'm coaching and teaching, I call this your royal guard. It's all these belief systems. It's all these excuses. We become reactionary to life instead of responders of life. And so what I love is that this is being mentioned here, right? What you think about, you bring about. And as long as you're giving yourself excuses and reasons why you can't, you're not giving yourself reasons why you can. And in the 90 days of time, that's what we're doing, is we're actually changing from excuses to action. This, I don't know if you've noticed, but this has me so excited.
And that's what you will be focusing on for the rest of your life. He said, and the big difference is if you're committed, you'll start today to let go of your stories, your excuses, your reasons why you're achieving your certain results right now.
Hallelujah.
And why you can't achieve any of those goals and dreams you wrote down on this piece of paper.
Oh, hallelujah. Right? The difference is when you are committed to something, you are making the decision. You're not just thinking about it. It's not just eventually, it's not just one day. You are making the commitment. This is the life I am going to live. These are the goals that I am going after, that I am going to achieve. When you hold that energy, I want you to think about the difference between the energies of, oh, it'd be so nice if I got rid of all of my extra weight. It would be so nice if I just lost all of my weight. Think of the difference between that daydreaming, fantastical, I'm interested in it, but I'm not committed to it, to I am getting to this weight loss and I'm going to eat from my healthy foods list only. I'm only going to focus on protein produce. I'm eating 5 days a week. I am living the actions and creating the outcome. Oh, John Asaraf, bless you, darling. Bless you.
So if you're committed, you'll upgrade your knowledge. If you're committed, you'll upgrade your skills. If you're committed, you'll come in every single day and figure out how you can achieve those goals and why you must versus why you can't and why you won't. And after he explained the difference between interest and commitment to me, I put my hand out and I shook his hand and I said, Mr. Brown, I'm committed. Now, I was scared shitless to say that I'm committed because I had to let go of all of my reasons why I couldn't achieve my goals and dreams. And
now I'm going to stop that for a second because when you make the decision, I love what he's saying and I don't necessarily disagree with him. When you're making this decision, you don't actually have to do anything. I agree with him that you're letting go of all of your excuses and reasons why not, but you don't actually have to do anything because you're moving forward from a different part of your brain. You're moving forward from a different part of your brain. That's why at 90 days at a time, what we're doing is we're focusing on our actions so that we can get all of those stories, all of those, past traumas, all of those emotions, all of those excuses, those day-to-day reasons that we use why we can't, why we don't, why we're too tired, why we're overwhelmed. A lot of people don't understand that you can literally shift from that way of thinking immediately, and that is by becoming committed. So he's calling it committed, I call it deciding. There's no difference. By making that commitment, you are now focusing on something different, right? I have a story to share with you that I share with my coaching clients all the time. One of the tools that I use when I'm trying to show them to start viewing things from a different lens, to start shifting their perspective and perception, is this. So I'm going to share it with you. I want you to think about this for just a moment. I want you to think about the car that you're driving, okay? The car that you're driving. Before you got this car, purchased this car, had this car given to you, how often did you see this car when you were driving around, when you were in parking lots? How often did you acknowledge, notice, and recognize this car? And the answer, truthfully, is rarely, if ever. I mean, I have to assume, I know in my situation, because when I use this example, I'll use this example right now with the car that I have. Before we went and picked out this Cadillac, obviously I had to have seen one and found it interesting in order for me to be able to go look at it and decide that I want it. But before we bought this car and started to drive it, I really only acknowledge or recognize seeing it a couple of times. And I didn't start to see it until the first time I noticed it. I consciously noticed it and went, oh, I think I like that. We should go check those out. And then I started to see them more often, right? But then when you buy that car, when you take that car home, when you start owning that car, now I want you to ask yourself, how many times when you're out and about, I mean, you're in the car, so you're not seeing your car everywhere you're driving, but how many times while you're out and about do you not only see that car, for me, it's the Cadillac XT5. Do I not only see that Cadillac XT5 absolutely everywhere in every color of the rainbow, but it is become so popular in my mind. It's like everybody and their dog decided to buy this exact one, and 90% of them decided to do the exact same color as me. It's become such a popular car for me to see in so many parking lots and so many everything, that I actually had my name put on the sides of the car, not just my information on the back window, because I needed to see on the sides of the car so I knew which car was mine in a parking lot. Crazy. It is such an intense vision. I see it so often, the exact same car, the exact same color. Now, like you sit there and you think to yourself, well, everybody just decided to buy the same car, but that's not true. You've shifted, changed, and altered your perception, and it happens instantly. For me, I moved that Cadillac XT5 into my peripheral vision, and now I see it everywhere. Before it was in my peripheral vision, I didn't see it, acknowledge it, notice it or not. My brain did not acknowledge it. That's very similar to what we're talking about right here.
Very act of writing my goals and then saying to him and then to myself, make a commitment to myself to be committed, I started to achieve the financial and life goals and dreams that I wrote down on that piece of paper. And not only did I achieve every one of those, I way exceeded every single goal. That's when my whole life changed.
So I want to talk about this for a second. When you start achieving your goals, first of all, when you start creating your goals, right, you have a very limited idea of what that's going to look like, what living that life will look like or feel like. That's one of the reasons why, our belief systems and our traumas and our struggles, that's one of the reasons why they get in the way, because you just can't perceive. If you really knew what reaching those goals would feel like, you would have done them years ago, right? So you can't possibly create a goal, commit to a big enough goal, right? So if you're putting down, I am going to make $100,000 a year, the universe, for back up here, the universe doesn't actually hear $100,000 a year, because the universe doesn't have eyes and ears, and your energy isn't even focused on $100 a year, $100,000 a year. Your energy is focused on what your lifestyle would be at what you think that income looks like. Okay. That lifestyle may actually be 350, 400, 500, 600, 700, a million, 10 million. It doesn't matter. You're not limiting. So you always end up achieving more than you technically committed yourself to do. I really love that word, committed. I really think that's going to go into my programs moving forward. So again, John, I just have to thank you. I absolutely love that word.
Commitment. One moment in my life, I said that I was committed to my financial and health and relationship and career and business and charitable goals and the travel goals and the health goals I had. I was committed to all my goals. He said, great. Well, the first action steps towards commitment is to develop a plan for how you're going to actually achieve those goals. So here's my question for you. Are you interested in achieving your financial and health and relationships and career and business goals and your travel goals, or are you committed? Now, if you're committed, here's what I'd like you to do. Take a sheet of paper and write down one goal for every area of your life: health, wealth, relationships, career, business, charitable.
Now, in my version of what we're doing right now at 90 days at a time, my students actually start with 5 goals. They start by creating 5 goals. And the reason that I suggest that, whether you're doing 90 days at a time with me or not, the reason that I suggest you only start by being committed to sort of 5 things is so that you don't get overwhelmed and overloaded, right? But I do love this. And so I think, For me, one of the things that this is going to make that I'm going to choose to add to my 90 days at a time is for them to have their big list of goals too. And I'm just going to throw this out here because I really think it could be beneficial to sort of everybody. And I believe that it's what I'm going to do. One of the action steps that I'm going to take this week is I'm going to write out my ultimate goals, and I'm actually going to pin them on the wall so that I can see them beside me in my office all of the time. Through my 90 days at a time, I'm focusing on my big goals, right? But this is sort of something that I can look at and I can acknowledge. And I will attach here a card of the vision board, becoming board video that I have brought in so that you're able to watch that too, because I'm going to add my vision board onto that part of the wall too. Just had to share all that.
And write down one goal and when you want to achieve it by. And then what I want you to do is write down 3 action steps that you can take towards achieving those goals. Write down, what do you need to learn? What do you need to believe? What do you need to do? Take those.
Love that. What do you need to learn? What do you need to believe? And what do you need to do? Love that.
Those things, put those right on your calendar with a time by which you are going to complete those things. And if you can do that for each one of your goals, if you can focus on the goal you want to achieve, 3 action items towards achieving those goals, and a specific timeline by when you're going to achieve it by, you are going to be the type of person that achieves your goals and dreams versus the person who hopes and prays and wishes that those goals and dreams become a reality. The person who achieves goals and dreams takes consistent daily, weekly, monthly actions towards those goals and dreams. And they don't allow their stories or their excuses or the reasons or circumstances to hold them back. They are committed to achieving their goal no matter what.
So here's what's also unbelievably important about what he's talking about. If you're not living in the present, if you're not living in focusing on the actions that you're taking to get to your goals, then you are either living in the past, which means all of your stories are stemming from things that you've experienced before, and you're staying in a place you didn't want to be in the first place, or you're daydreaming about the future, and you're wasting so much time, energy, and so many big parts of your life by daydreaming, but never actually getting to that outcome, right? We don't belong in the past. We don't belong in the future. We belong into how you get to your goals in the future is the actions that you take and focus on today. Love this one.
That's the attitude. That's the mindset that you have to have. And you have to have absolute resolve that you will do whatever it takes. So
you have to decide. You have to decide that you will do whatever it takes to get there, because there is no other alternative.
So, are you interested or are you committed?
Now, before we go into this, understand it's okay if you're not ready to decide. If you're not ready to decide, then continue watching these daily interviews, videos here on YouTube. Continue looking at things that will motivate you. You can do that. It'll take a lot longer. But that's the point. It's okay to not be ready to decide, but it's also okay to take these actions on much smaller goals to start off with, so you can just get up and get some traction and shift and adjust your energy and build yourself up. It's okay to not have a full plan. It's okay to not know what all the goals are. It's okay to not know, am I going to be driving a McLaren? Am I going to be driving a Rolls Royce? It's okay to not have those. It's okay to start with smaller goals, because I promise you, they will build and grow, and they will constantly change. I can promise that. Yeah, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. What do I need to learn? What do I need to believe? What do I need to do in order to ensure my goals? And then 5, get to work. I love this plan. This is a brilliant plan. Love that. So good. That is such a good quick video of, how to start shifting how you're doing things, right? So that's really great. So what do I want to do now? So for me, I have created, this is where this one's going to be sort of a little different, because my action plan in 90 days at a time, in most of my other ones, is going to be to add a statement to my mirror, to the mirror message. This one, what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to share a tool, a thing that they're going to do to bring into their 5 steps to be able to use sort of this technique. But I'm curious, for you guys. I'm curious for you guys. What do you think about this? How many times are you, no, not even how many times, are you able to see the difference of when you're interested in something and when you decide in something? I'm going to recommend that you just take a second, just a few minutes here, and you just think about, moments where you have gone after and done something and achieved it, and what is so different about when you're achieving and when you're thinking about it. I would love to hear your comments in here, and I look forward to also seeing you again tomorrow. Have a great day, you guys.